What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Kdwaterwoods. Y'all, I was going through some of my videos the other day, and I was looking at some of the comments and also going through my emails, and I had one of my viewers and one of my subscribers, you know who you are, and thank you very much for the question. And the question was, KD, what are your two most favorite topwater lures? Well, for one, if you have been watching any of my videos, my fishing videos over the past year and a half, you should already know what my number one favorite topwater lure is. And I'll tell you right now, I'll give you a hint, it's got a lot of buzz to it. But either way, we've had a lot of different questions about fishing, different types of lures, different types of situations, whether bass fishing, speckled perch fishing, brim fishing. But today, let's answer the question, what are my two most favorite topwater lures? Well, there's so many different ones out there, and this, guys, is just my humble opinion when it comes to topwater lures. There's so many different topwater lures out there. You got the buzzbait, you got the whopper plopper, you got the jitterbug, you got the popper, you got, there are just so many different types of topwater lures out there. But my favorite two, and I'm gonna start with the one that's probably the lowest of the two, but they're really neck and neck. I'm talking about they're like this. And I'll tell you my first one. My first one is the heddon tiny torpedo. Guys, this thing right here catches fish from bass to brim to speckled perch to catfishing. I actually have a video up on my YouTube channel now where I throw a lure similar to this. As a matter of fact, same color, same size, everything, but it's a lot more beat up than this. The tiny torpedo. I throw it out there in the pond, and a giant channel catfish just slams it as soon as it hits the water, and I was able to get him in. But guys, I have caught brim on this thing. I've caught speckled perch on this thing. I've used this in freshwater and saltwater. I've caught redfish on it. I've caught flounder on it. I've caught speckled trout on it. Just tons of different types of fish that I've caught on it from freshwater and saltwater. But this right here is probably real close to number one, but I will say it's probably my number two. So many different applications you can use with this thing. You can use light tackle. I throw this thing on, I've thrown it on 6-pound test line all the way up to 20-pound test line, depending on the application and where I'm at and what target fish I'm after. But 9 times out of 10, I'm throwing this thing on a spinning reel, usually around a 10-pound test line. Y'all know I like to use the Cajun wire, and that's usually what I use. And it does really well. Obviously, if you're fishing in more of a around more structure, you want to use a little bit heavier line, you know, 12, 14, maybe even 16 up to 17-pound test line, if need be, depending on where you're at. Guys, the tiny torpedo is absolutely awesome when it comes to top water. A lot of splashing, got the little spinner on the back, treble hooks, just a good looking bait all around. Tons of different colors and different patterns you can get with the heddon tiny torpedo. This thing is pretty cool. So that's number two, very close to number one. Now, in my book, guys, you cannot get any better than the whole buzzbait. I prefer the Culprit Buzzbait. That's what this is a Culprit Buzzbait. This is a 3/8 ounce buzzbait. My friends up at PINETREE Gun and Pond, they have all kinds of Culprit Buzzbait, spinnerbaits, plastics that you can get, and this is where I get most of my buzzbaits from. Most of my Culprit stuff that I have, I get it from my friends at PINETREE Gun and Pond there in Thomasville, Georgia. So if you're in the North Florida, South Georgia area, go to PINETREE Gun and Pond on Highway 122 Thomasville and pick you up some Culprit buzzbait, spinnerbaits, and plastics. But guys, the buzzbait to me is by far the best topwater lure. There's nothing like at dusk or dawn, you're hearing this bad boy flap through the water, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, and all of a sudden that largemouth bass comes out of nowhere and just plows into this thing. There's nothing like it. It's exciting to hear it, it's exciting to feel it, and exciting to see that big old bass smash it. So with that being said, guys, these are my two favorite topwater lures, the heddon tiny torpedo and the buzzbait. Now, guys, there's so many different manufacturers out there that make baits similar to this, especially the buzz bait. And not to say that there's anything wrong with those other companies, I just prefer the Culprit Buzzbait. I like Culprit. I like the way they look. I like the way they sound. I like the way they feel. And obviously they catch fish. But all of them do really, really well. So make sure you go pick you up some Buzzbaits and some heddon tiny torpedoes. Guys, thanks for the question. Now you know my favorite two topwater lures. I like topwater in general. I do like the Whopper Plopper. I do like the Pop-R. They're great baits, but these two right here are my favorites. So keep sending the questions in. I'll keep doing these little short videos on what I like, and let you guys know how I use them, where I use them, and what application I use. You can't go wrong with these two bad boys right here. Appreciate you guys watching.